New class or new classes in World of Warcraft, the last Titan in 2026. Blizzard asked a lot of players questions what classes they want. And there is a very big hint we're getting classes or new specs. Let's discuss this today. Stefan, what is your arena of opinion about this topic?
Hey Michael, my arena of opinion today is Blizzard has exhausted all creative class ideas. There's nothing left to add that's original. What do you think about this opinion?
I think Blizzard has a lot of options and a lot of opportunities in case of glass design. And yeah, we dive a little bit deeper into it and we discuss it also what the machine, what the AI thinks about this topic, which is very interesting. So I think they have a lot of potential in case of classes. And when you look at the history of and the lore of World of Warcraft, then that's not the end yet. What do you think?
Yeah, I think if you're really creative, you can do a lot of more stuff there. So, yeah, agree.
Um, my arena of opinion is World of Warcraft should introduce multiple new specs instead of new classes, or instead of a new class.
So you mean with that in direction like support spec and this kind of stuff?
No, not only support spec. I mean with that, Blizzard should introduce new specs for classes instead of new classes.
Ah, Um, I think a little bit of both would be healthy, like bringing some new class into the game, which brings some new vibe, and then also add some new talent trees or specs to the current classes would be awesome, I think.
Okay. Then let's dive a little bit deeper into the topic of classes. It's a very hot topic at the moment because Blizzard asked the German community, the German World of Warcraft players, a lot of questions about what kind of classes they would like in a future World of Warcraft. And we're talking probably about the last Titan in 2026 when we get something new, probably. But yeah, let's dive a little bit deeper into it. My first question would be about this topic: does World of Warcraft has to introduce a new class, or is it not? Do they don't have to do it?
I think they don't have to do it actually. I think they have a lot of other stuff which they can improve, which bring a lot of new energy into the game and bring maybe all players also back to the game and makes the current players also happier when they're like changing the M plus system and adding maybe also new classes and new talent trees to the current classes.
Um, yeah, I think so too. When we look back in the history of World of Warcraft in the past, um, every time a new class was introduced, the expansion was really really good. Besides Dragonflight was, I would say, average, but the Draktyr class was actually not what we wanted and what we expected. When we think about dragons, we wanted bulky, masculine dragon, which is in the melee fight or something like that. So, but something really badass. But we got a skinny spellcaster dragon. Um, but when you look back in the past, yeah, the expansions with new classes were really really good expansions. So maybe they want to go on this train again. But yeah, as you said, they have a lot of things which they could improve. And we get one very important thing in the next expansion, which is called player housing. And that's why I think it's not the next expansion when we get the new class, new spec. But yeah, what is your question about it?
So in the World of Warcraft community, there's a lot of discussion. What could be the potential of new classes? What could it be? And the most discussed classes at the moment are Bard, Tinker, Necromancer, and the Dark Ranger. What do you think is realistic? Which will be like the most near possible class what we could have maybe in the future?
The thing is, you have to look at this topic a little bit analytical. When you look back at Wrath of the Lich King, we got the Death Knight, perfectly matched to the expansion. When you look back to Mist of Pandaria, we got the Monk, perfectly matched to the expansion. When you look back to Legion, we got the Demonhunter, perfectly matched to the expansion. When we look back to Dragonflight, we got the Evoker, perfectly matched to the expansion. So, what do we get in The Last Titan? Because The Last Titan is probably the expansion we get a new class, right? So, what kind of class would match to Titans and the whole antique Titan energy and stuff like that? Some people said the Bard would match because the Bard sings the old songs of Azeroth and stuff like that, so that could probably match a little bit. Um, yeah, but I don't know if the Tinker matches because the question is what do they do with the expansion, you know? But the Last Titan is all about slaying Titans probably and beating the I don't know some very end boss Titans. So yeah, it has to be something in this direction. But I'm not sure what it could be. We saw a lot of specs or classes which they had in this inquiry where they asked all the players. It was a lot of nothing, saying nothing actually, all the classes. But what do you think about this? What would be reasonable class?
In my opinion, and I think they tested that also with the Evoker or the Dragon, is they have this class spec supporter, and people use the supporter spec like, for example, the M plus. The highest key is always a Evoker support there. You can't play without them. So I could imagine that it is a high possibility that we get a Bard, which is also support spec, which then help the team in M plus, or maybe also a new art of playing PvP with support. Maybe I don't know. So I could imagine that there will be a Bard, and also Dark Ranger, which would fit to the next expansion. But I think that's more likely a new class or new talent tree for the hunter.
I think we got that already, the Dark Ranger. I think the talent tree or the hero talent is actually called Dark Ranger, so I don't think we get an extra class for that because they already implemented it as the hero talent tree for the hunter. Um, but yeah, I think Bard makes the most sense in the list they gave us. Something like the Necromancer is a big fan of the community, but it doesn't make sense because we have the demonology warlock, we have the not the demon hunter, we have the death knight, the unholy death knight. So it's too much in between of those classes. So you have to redo everything of the other classes. So yeah, the most sense makes actually the bard. But the big question is, what are they doing with the support thing? Because it's also a possibility to implement not a new class, as you said, a new spec. And we are talking about maybe a new Demon Hunter spec, a Titan Slayer Demon Hunter spec, because they are the hunters, they are the Demon Hunters. Maybe they're evolving into the Titan Hunters. That was spontaneous, but I think that could actually be. Because the Demon Hunter is the only class. Is it the only class? I think it's the only class with only 2 talent specs, right? Um, so that could also be interesting. What do you think about that? The
Yeah, that the
Titan
Demon
Hunter.
Hunter is getting Titan Hunter. I would play them. Yeah, I could imagine that Demon Hunter is getting a third spec because, like you said, they're the only one who have only 2. So yeah, maybe a different kind of play style. Why not? I think Blizzard have to go a little bit creative and test and if things works. But like you also said, if they're bringing something new, there's always the system like expansion, a storyline behind it. They don't just release things out, so there has always to be that kind of things. Yeah.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. What do you think? When do we have to expect the new class or the new spec? When makes it the most sense? Do you think it's already coming in the next expansion, or is it coming after the saga at all, or what do you think?
It's hard to tell. You don't know yet what they really do. They want to do a lot of stuff and bringing faster things out. So if you think, I can't imagine that we already get like end of next year a new class, but maybe they're bringing. So I think the earliest possible date would be end of next year, but more likely 2026, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think my opinion is I don't think we get it next year because next year is already packed and already planned out. We get the huge thing, which is a really huge thing, which actually brings probably players back and makes a lot of players exciting in case of the housing. And I think that is the main feature. You don't have to bring a class. It doesn't make sense, actually. It's one big feature which brings a lot of people back. So the next possibility would be the Last Titan, because we don't know what they have, what kind of big feature they can do there in Last Titan. So it would probably make sense. Also, in case of we got the Evoker last year with Dragonflight, or 2 years before. I don't know when was Dragonflight actually, but I think 2 years.
I think
before.
2 years actually.
Yeah, there we got the Evoker. So yeah, 3 years later. Then is it 3 years or is it 4 years? But I think in case of time it makes sense, you know. So either you go for the Last Titan or they do it in the new saga, because with a new saga they can rehaul. Actually, it can be like a cataclysm where the whole world gets different in case of graphic or something like that. They can overhaul a lot of things, and I hope they do it because the game is crazy. Yeah, that's what I expect. Yeah.
All right. So talking about new class, what do you think is the impact of introducing a new class in having the game, and also what is the impact of game balance?
Yeah, that's a good question, and I asked myself the same question before, because it doesn't make the whole situation easier when you have more specs. And let's imagine they don't bring a new class out; they bring 3 new specs for classes out in Last Titan. Then you have 3 more classes or subclasses to balance. So I think, and when you look forward, they not only developing the next 2 years, they think about the next 10 years, the next 20 years. And it's probably inevitable that World of Warcraft will get 5 to 10 new classes in the next 10, 20 years, you know? So we will go probably into a situation like League of Legends, where it's getting actually impossible to balance it. So you have your meta. So I think that is probably the future of World of Warcraft. You will have a lot of classes, not like League of Legends 160, but you will have probably 20, 30 classes, and it will not be able to balance. But you have the meta, they try to push it, and they try to make some classes well available in certain seasons and stuff like that. So I think that is the future of it. Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you already see it. I mean, like there was a fight where, because like if you want to play high keys, you have to play actually the meta. So you have to be a shaman heal. You have to have an evoker. You need the now I think the paladin is the best tank. So you always
In M
need the
plus?
meta. Yeah, and plus yeah. So you need the best meta comms to and people searching for that. So and there was actually a boycott where people like opened in the dungeon finder groups,
Group, right?
but nobody invited anybody. So that was quite funny. So but yeah, you already see like people are playing meta, and I think you're right with the future. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think they have to change the game mode for that, because there has to be a game mode for that where you don't have to be reliable on a meta to make the hardest content, to play the hardest content. You have to be also M plus has probably to be kept or something like that, and you make everything over time. Or I don't know how they can do it, but they have to figure out something where you can play all the classes in the highest content. It's like Mythic. You have to be able to be a Mythic raider with every class. That has to be the goal. Sure, some classes are way better and you can be way quicker, but you have to be able to do everything, and everyone has to be able to invite everyone. So the whole more culture has to be challenged a little bit. I think that would make the game a lot healthier. Yeah.
You can go on.
Okay. If we think about a new class, okay, and we implement a new class with the Last Titan, can you see a new weapon type as well? Like with the Demonhunter, for example, we got the glyphs, the war glyphs, right? So What kind of new weapon type would you see in the future in World of Warcraft? Not only for the last Titan, but in general. What could they implement?
What is missing?
Probably a lot.
You have most of the original weapons you have in the game, I would say. So, hard. I have nothing which came in mind, to be honest.
Some people said, for example, the something like a double gun, that you have double wielded guns for a gunslinger, for example. That would be an option, or smaller crossbows where you can double wield as well, things like that, or energy weapon or something like that. When you think about loaded weapons where you, I don't know, wield it with energy, something like that. Yeah, a lot of
Yeah,
things. Or for example, when we think about the bard, right? The bard has to wield or has to have a support thing in case of instruments. That has
yeah,
to be
correct,
there.
yeah.
So
Yeah, if you think about Bard, yeah, that was the thing. But like compare it to the expansion, like guns would not fit to a Titan killer. If I'm imagining like thinking about Titan killer, I would not think about pistols. So yeah, but if you think about a Bard support spec, yeah, you need instruments, so something like that, yeah, would make sense, yeah.
yeah, if they go with the bard, then instruments have to come. That's for certain, definitely. Yeah.
I have an interesting question,
Mm.
and it is new class content just above extending playtime, or does it add real value to the game?
It adds real value to the game because I play World of Warcraft for the class fantasy. That's the main thing why I play World of Warcraft, because I love to insert myself into a new role, into a class, into something I cannot do in the real world. So I go into World of Warcraft and uh, play a monk, or play a mage, or play a warlock or something like that. Something I cannot do. So class fantasy is very important for me, and I think for a lot of players as well, because you can see it on the expansions. The expansions which were focused on classes, on class fantasy, like Legion, for example, were insanely good and very popular. So they love it, and I think they see that in the data as well. They see the peaks when they introduced classes and the expansions were very popular.
Yeah, yeah. You already was bringing the introduction to my next question. What would be the community reaction to class-specific storylines or quest chains? Would this be a welcome addition? And like you said already with Legion, it was nice that every class had his own story and also his own, like, you have to do your storyline for your legendary weapon, and it was different. You had Everybody had his own mount, which is also an extra quest line, and you had your own base, and that was pretty awesome. And also like creating like a DK, you start in your environment and just on your DK environment, and also with the monk you had that, with I think Demonhunter as well. The Walker has also, and I think this is actually the way to go in my opinion.
Yeah, when you talk about these kind of times, it makes someone exciting, and I want to play Legion again, because I know exactly the feeling how it was when you saw for your class the weapon, and you got the first weapon, and then you went into the class hall and you opened the weapon, and the weapon was there, and you could modify everything. It was so good. It was probably one of the best features ever in World of Warcraft. So I hope they do it. And one of the coolest things in World of Warcraft are class quests, when you can unlock something class specific. It's so cool. I don't know. I actually don't know why they're not focusing on that more, because it makes sense that the players want it. So why not? Why not? It doesn't make sense.
Why not? We don't know.
Okay. Then I would say let's go on and let's ask AI what AI thinks about this topic in our machine overload. What did AI say to you?
So I went today again to ChatGPT and tried to ask him a question,
Okay.
and I got actually a good answer. So
Wow.
I will read it. It is a little bit longer, so stay
That's
with
fine.
me. Blizzard is very careful when introducing new classes to World of Warcraft. Each new class, such as Death Knight, Monks, Demonhunter, and Evokers, is expected to have a strong thematic identity, fitting smoothly into the game, ongoing narrative. For instance, Death Knight were tied to the Lich King story, while Demon Hunter emerged during the Legion expansion, aligning closely with the return of the Burning Legion, which also we had Michael said, right? And additionally, Blizzard must ensure that any new class maintains game balance without overshadowing existing classes. This involves considering everything from a new class interact with established talent system to its role in both PvE and PvP content. In other words, the class must fill a meaningful niche which still feeling fair to players already invested in other classes. Finally, the community long-term engagement is a key factor. Player might be excited at first, but the new class must remain enjoyable and relevant over time. As a result, any future addition are likely to be carefully planned, deeply connected to the World of Warcraft current storyline and shaped by lessons learned from the past class introduction.
I think that's reasonable and conservative. I would say everything which Blizzard has, which Blizzard does actually. But ChatGPT didn't say what kind of class they expect, right?
No, but like, but like he said, like, and I don't think that Blizzard is changing that. They are like really careful and really planning if something is coming new. And there's like always when was something new, there's like a big storyline behind it. Like you see it with like DK, Monk, and so on. So I don't think that we will have something like, yeah, there will come this and this and this. There will be just one thing and not like many of them.
It has to match. It has to match the whole experience. That's what Blizzard did. Maybe it changes after this saga because this saga is in the old style, I would say, still. And in the new saga, they can make a lot of new stuff and maybe new decisions as well in case of classes or specs. But it's true, yeah. I asked Grok this time. The fun mode was not available. I don't know why. If they
Yeah, I also saw it today. I don't understand it.
Yeah, the fun mode was not there, so it's a little bit more dry. But Grok said the following. Speculating on a new class or specs in World of Warcraft, especially linked to The Last Titan, often involves looking at the lore and current game mechanics. Same. Given Blizzard's history with the thematic expansions, a new class like a Titan-inspired bard or a spec that embodies ancient power could be introduced, potentially altering gameplay dynamics significantly. He said he expects either a bard, a tinker, or artificer, I don't know what that is, and a keeper. Everything is based very on old magic, old Titan things, and most of these have all the tank, heal, and support, or tank, heal, and DPS. So yeah, it's a little bit of all. So that's what Grok said.
Yeah, I think if you also watch other MMOs, there's always bards. And World of Warcraft is like the only game which don't have like the original class bard, which most of the games have. So I think it will be most likely that something will come likely as a bard.
But when I look back, you saw every class they introduced in World of Warcraft, they had somewhere in the lore, right? Or somewhere in Warcraft, or somewhere. I never saw a bard. Never. I never saw a bard as an NPC or something like that. Never. I never saw an instrument. Maybe I saw instrument somehow. Yeah, a flute or something.
You saw
like
it. The dark every start on the month. There's this event, Dunkelmondjahrmarkt.
The Dark Moon Fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's this. They're playing, I think, a guitar. If I'm not.
That's a
wrong.
band. Yeah, that's the band
Yeah.
of World of Warcraft. Yeah. There was. I can remember when I was playing World of Warcraft in Burning Crusade, they did a April 1st joke on the website. They announced a new class. It was the musician, and you could he had, I think, three different specializations. It was rock, pop, or classic, or something like that. So you could choose into the music styles, and this was the joke. And it was introduced with the guitar of the band and stuff like that. It was a blood elf and playing the guitar and stuff like that. So they already did this joke. But yeah, as I said, I never seen a bard-like thing in World of Warcraft. So
But to be honest, like what you just said would actually pretty awesome. Like if you have a bard and the talent tree is like the music genre, like you can decide I want to be a rock bard, or and then there's this change of his talents, and yeah, I think that would be actually pretty awesome.
yeah, the I think the response of the players for this April 1st joke was mixed. A lot of people said, "Yeah, nice." Probably the music lovers, and a lot of people said, "What the fuck? Blizzard is so dumb." So yeah, but it was very funny. A lot of people believed it in at first, but then that was pretty cool. Yeah, I would say the next topic is the side quest. Not a topic related to this topic, but a topic we want to discuss in general to make you guys a little bit more broad thinking. What is your topic? What is your side quest?
So I stayed actually with World of Warcraft, but I picked another
Same.
topic. So I played yesterday the how it's called, Isle,
Siren Isles.
Siren Eyes, and have to say it was actually quite nice. But
Mm.
again, I have to say that the quest fee is always the same in World of Warcraft, because you went
Mm.
in, you had your dailies to do, you have your quest line, you had your world events, you have your weeklies, and all this kind of stuff. And here's my side quest, aka critical hit. Daily or weekly quests often feel like boring, repetitive tasks that force players to do the same thing over and over. Blizzard should create a more creative and flexible system that keeps players truly interested and motivated instead of hiding progress behind old and joyless routines.
100% agree. The thing is, when I think about the reset, the weekly reset, then you have the three main quests, right? You have to do. So you accept the quest. The rewards are very good, so you have to do it, and you have to you can
Four.
decide, or four, and you have
Yeah.
to decide. Do you want to do world quests? Do you want to do this, and that? And you don't want to do it because it's very easy, but you have to do it. It's only time spending in the game. Um, but it's useless actually. You want to play the game, the specific game modes you want to play, you have fun with, and not being forced into something to do something you have to do. I understand the aspect of grinding and stuff like that, but I mean we play the game. World of Warcraft is not a game we play for a couple months and then we quit. World of Warcraft we play for World of Warcraft for 20 years now, doing the same stuff for 20 years. It's the same. We did dailies in Burning Crusade, so that is the same. Um, I hope they will invent something and they will change something in the future. Probably with the new saga. Probably I don't expect it in the next two expansions. I expect it after this saga, and I hope Blizzard. If someone at Blizzard sees this podcast, I hope you guys make big changes after this saga. I mean, real big changes. You can overhaul all the classes if it's on up to me. You can give all the classes only two specs or something like that. You can make really big changes. Also with the gameplay, you can make really big changes. I hope they do it.
Fair point.
My side quest is also World of Warcraft, and my side quest is OnlyFans 3 will be probably Alliance versus Horde. I don't know if you heard it. Soda is still looking for a good fit for a alliance leader. So because he will lead the horde and he's looking for an alliance leader. What do you think? Who will it be? And can OnlyFans 3 still be exciting?
I think if they're only things free doing like Core versus Alliance, I think there will be pretty awesome new creative feature which they will start doing, and world PvP, and I don't know what they will do. And I think it will be funny to watch when they're like staying in a line and the other on the other side, and they have one leader, with a horse maybe, and then making noises and this kind of stuff. So like really old, like a movie. I think they will make it like movies, and I think that will be awesome to watch. And yeah, let's see. I think who will be a good leader for Alliance? Asmongold?
That was actually Soda's only pick. He said this would be the person which is not too soft, which is also an asshole like Soda, which can lead people and which can make it enjoyable and fun. So Soda said also Asmongold, or the second person was Xario. He said Xario knows a lot about the game as well, but he said, but Xario's too nice.
Yeah, that's true. He's a nice guy. But maybe that's also a right pick for the Alliance because Alliance are the good ones. So
True.
and I think he's good in motivating people and bringing the best out of them. So why not? Would fit. I think he would be a good king of the Alliance.
I think so too, and he has the passion you need for this whole project. He loves classic like crazy, and he has a passion for it. So that would be very exciting, and I hope it will get a lot of more of these community projects in classic because it's so fun to watch it, and I think it makes the game more popular and brings a lot of good stuff in the game. Okay, let's go on to the last segment of our podcast, to the keyboard warrior. Every time you post a comment under our videos, you have a chance to be in a video. And Stefan picked two keyboard warriors, two comments of our channel, and we discuss it today. Let's go.
All right. First of all, thank you for all your comments. You're crazy. We're getting a lot of comments. It was hard to pick some comments because we had so many, but I found someone. So the first one is Ignore My Channel 697, and he comment under the video, will Path of Exile 2 steal Diablo player base? And he said, I don't go back. And also he comment under his comment as well, I can't believe I play beta. What do you think about that, Michael?
Yeah, I play Path of Exile 2 at the moment too, and I'm stunned too that I play a beta. It's crazy. The game it's like a AAA game. You play a AAA game for, I paid 30 quid, so $30, and it's free in a couple months when it launches actually. So when I think about that, it is insane. It is really insane. And when I compare it, I played Diablo 4 as well, because I was hyped for Diablo 4. I played both. I played both on the Steam Deck. So it's another experience, but I think it's a better experience because ARPGs I think feel way better with controller, in my opinion. But when I compare these two, Path of Exile is actually what I wanted to be, wanted Diablo 4 to be, in case of gameplay and everything. It plays very good, very well, and the fantasy of the classes is also very good. I play a monk at the moment, and now I'm level 24 or something like that, and I got a lot new stuff and replaced my auto attacks and stuff like that, and now I'm very fast and can, I don't know, I whirling around like an airbender and stuff like that. It's so, the gameplay is so fun, and I think the hardness, how hard the game is also pretty good, because in Diablo you were not challenged at all, and with Path of Exile it feels like the old games which are played on the PlayStation 2, which you had to try bosses a lot of time and then you did it and stuff like that. So it's perfectly challenging, I think. I'm a new player, I never played Path of Exile, so I need 2, 3, 4, 5 tries for a boss, depends on the boss. And it's fun, man. It's so much fun at the moment. It's cool, and the art style also amazing. I was on a caravan, right? A caravan is it is a big caravan where the city is actually on a caravan and the caravan is walking, right? And usually you have horses which are towing the caravan, right? And this whole city caravan doesn't have horses; it has slaves. Slaves are towing the caravan. So very skinny slaves walking in the front. I send you a video afterwards, and I make a video in the clip then. But it looks so amazing, and it's a badass game. That was what we are talking about. It's a badass game. Very cool.
Nice. Yeah, I think we also see it. I mean, Elon Musk played it, streamed it on the airplane, died also, and I think he has a lot of fun. And the next comment even prove it. So, same video, will Path of Exile 2 steal Diablo player base? And Darklight Humid said, it has already begun. It broke Elden Ring peak record of 900k with 1.1 million peak in only 48 hours upon the release of its early access. And he said also he thinks even that the open beta, which is in 6 months from now, will be even more.
Yeah, it was surprising to me actually that it broke these kind of records. I was not aware of it, but yeah, it's actually deserved. The game is good. The people behind the game are very good, and they listen to players. And they have the game is not perfect. They have a couple of things to do, especially with the end game and stuff like that. But what we saw in this early access playtest, very good. So I'm stoked. I'm stoked about the future of this game, and they have different seasons as well. And I mean, we are only playing half of the game at the moment because half of the game is not released yet. You have a lot of more classes, a lot of more ascendances, and a lot of crazy stuff with classes and stuff like that. So yeah, the future looks bright for Path of Exile and the ARPG. I saw also a comment. You cannot say Path of Exile is an ARPG. Path of Exile is an ARPG. What the fuck? It is an ARPG. Sure, it has rolling like Elden Ring and stuff like that, but come on, bro. Path of Exile is an ARPG. Nothing to discuss about.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was it. That was our keyboard warrior. So you can now start the comment war again under this video as well. You can hit to all what we discussed today, your feedback as well. And yeah, Michael, I give it to you.
Thank you for watching, guys. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. 98% of you are not subscribed, and please leave a like on this video. I know this video, the World of Warcraft community will watch this video, so if you're looking for a nice M plus group or something like that, or players which are playing World of Warcraft as well, go to the App Store and look up Gamers Playground. There's an application which matches you with fellow gamers, and you can find easy people which are like-minded like you and want to search for other gamers. So look it up, download it, and yeah, leave a like and a subscription on this channel to follow us. We do this next year as well and the years afterwards. So yeah, I would say thank you for listening, and the last words are yours as always, Stefan.
Thank you guys for listening to us, and we see us in the next podcast. We have again a new guest. Who will it be? Let's see. It will be exciting, and see us in the next podcast, guys. Bye bye.